month ago, the whole cloud complex looked like it was in hideous shape after a prolonged sell-off. There was never anything wrong with most of the companies, though. They just went out of style in the Wall Street fashion show. But in the last few weeks, the higher quality cloud stocks have made a stunning comeback. Consider the case of Okta, the cloud-based security software company that handles your login and verification credentials for a lot of sites that you use, but you just don't know Okta's behind them. This longtime Cramer fave got slammed over the summer, even though the company kept putting up some amazing numbers. Turns out the weakness was indeed temporary, as the stock rallied 35% in less than a month's time. And now, once again, it's up 100% for the year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's got more upside. Earlier today, we had a chance to actually go to Okta to catch up with Todd McKinnon, the co-founder and CEO. Take a look. Todd, why do we have to worry about identity?
Identity is really important. If you think about what companies are trying to do, companies of every size in every industry, they're trying to have the best experience for their employees. They want to have it be flexible, accessible from anywhere, the best tools, and also they want to make sure that their customers can reach them over the web, over mobile. So what that all comes down to is you have to have good identity. You have to know who those people are that are connecting to what resources, whether it's a customer website or whether it's a productivity app to make your employees do their best work. You have to know who they are, and you have to be able to do it securely, and you have to make it super, super easy for those people to access those systems. At the core of that's identity.
Okay, so I was one of the first customers to MLB.com because I love baseball and I love out-of-market baseball. I turn it on, and it works. Does it work because of you?
We are the login for MLB.com. So the great team at MLB.com is building this amazing mobile experience to stream the games out of market. And one of the key components of that is how do they identify the subscribers?
Right.
And how do they log them in easily, so make it super simple for the subscribers, no additional passwords, no additional tokens. And they also make it really easy for the developers at MLB.com to actually create that site. So they don't have to worry about the login part. They can get that from us and focus on what they're really great at, which is getting the baseball content to the subscribers.
Are there still companies that actually worry about the login, even though it's not their core competence?
It happens, but that's changing as you know, Okta has really shown the industry that there's an easier way. And you can not only get it, cheaper than it is to build yourself, but you don't have the risk of a security problem like you do if you build it yourself. So it's quite powerful.
No, I think that a lot of people ask me, well, Jim, why do you care about Okta? And I said, well, I always care about a stock that's up 100% for the year, and you've been an unbelievable performer. But also, I said, because there'd be 34 million people who have loyalty to Albertsons, and they don't realize that what helps it work is Okta. And that's an awful lot of customers that not everybody can handle.
Yeah. I mean, put yourself in Albertsons' shoes. So you're brick and mortar, one of the largest grocery chains in the country. And you're thinking about your competition, and it used to be maybe the corner grocery store or another brick and mortar competitor, but now your competition is online. You're worried about the gig economy companies shopping at your store and serving your customers. You're worried about Amazon going direct to your customers. So you really have to up your e-commerce game. You have to have a great loyalty program. You have to have a great e-commerce experience, connect that brick and mortar store with your online customer community. And what's at the center of that? It's identity. You have to know who the customer is. You have to get them on that site simply and securely. And that's what we help Albertsons do. Well,
let's talk about internally. There are people who come and go in a company. There are companies now are so large that you don't know who's cracking in, who's not. If I hire Okta, what does it mean in terms of trying to keep out bad guys or impersonators?
Well, I think if you think about a company, you talked about the challenges of Albertsons on the customer side. Companies used to be that they would have an office and they would have a data center and they would put a firewall around that. And it was pretty binary. When you were inside the data center or inside the office, you were secure and approved. And when you were outside, you didn't get in. And now that's very much fundamentally changed, where every company is trying to open up and trying to support more employees accessing applications from different environments, opening up the data center, using the cloud. So what that means is that you can't secure things at the perimeter of the firewall anymore. You have to know who the person is. You have to know the person, the device, the application, the data, and have a system that can track where they're going, what they're doing, when they come, join the company, when they change roles, when they become a partner, when they leave the company. And managing that and automating that whole process is key to having a good employee experience and having a secure experience.
Okay, so just go in the Wayback Machine, say 10, 15 years. people would not have built a system that would have understood this, right? So a legacy system can't do any of these things.
Well, there have been identity systems in the past, but I would say there's two big changes from the past generation of technology. The first one is that these systems were built on premise. They were software solutions,
Right, okay.
which we're seeing every category of software and technology migrate to the cloud. But for identity, it's particularly important because what the cloud lets us do, besides just have it be easier to run and cheaper and more scalable, it allows us to connect and integrate to more technologies. So we can give a solution to our customers, and it's immediately connected to all of the disparate technology in their environment. Their devices, their networks, their firewalls, their applications, their platforms. It's connected day one, and they don't have to spend months integrating it up and figuring out how to debug it. It just works out of the box.
Now, tell me about if I were, say, working at Fox, great entertainment company. I collaborate with a lot of different people. I don't want the collaborators necessarily to find out the ending of something I'm doing at Fox who's not involved with that.
Yeah.
So they bring in Okta? How do they know to bring in Okta? And why do they choose Okta over anybody else to try to solve that problem?
Well, if you look at a company like Fox, it's content production, so they're making movies, and movies aren't made by one company. It's actually a very complex supply chain of companies, editing, post-production, sound. They're collaborating on this asset, and so that means that it's not all employees of Fox, it's employees of different partner companies that talk about opening up the network. You can't have a network around Fox and make that movie. You have to make a identity-centric environment, so it knows about every partner down to the individual person collaborating on that movie, and authenticate them, make it easy to use, make it secure, get them access when they need access to the movie, and take away access when they don't need it. So that's the challenge with Fox. So I think that if you think about the advantages of something like Okta, I mentioned how it's integrated to everything Fox wants to use in the production process, but this is incredibly important as well. It's not a piece of software that they have to install, and it scales as they need it, and it contracts as they need it. And most importantly, and this is key, it's not an identity system that's part of one of those applications. So it's not part of the content management application, it's not part of the collaboration application. It's its own platform that is identity-centric and serves all of that technology in a neutral way, not bound to one type of application that Fox would have to use.
Quite incredible. There would have been no need because companies were too small. The bigger a company gets, 34 million Albertsons, day one, opening day MLB, they need you. They can't do it without you. Well, it's pretty good to be indispensable. That's Todd McKinnon, Okta CEO and co-founder with an indispensable identity company. Good to see you, Todd.
Nice to have you, Jim.
Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.